And now for your real champion. I call this segment Touché. When you visit a hospital, you may be worried about a sick family member or friend. Maybe you're the patient and nervous about news you'll be hearing from your doctor. Recently, I had reason to visit Overlook Hospital in Summit, New Jersey. At the main entrance, I was met by an ambassador who welcomed every visitor with a distinct and uplifting greeting. I wasn't there as a patient, but even I felt a little more positive after starting the day with his cheery hello and his offer to direct me. I sensed that this was a man who had faced his own challenges and made it his mission to lift the spirit of those around him. Walter Touchette, a pleasant and confident gentleman with a meticulous appearance, reflecting more than 20 years as a Marine, over 13 years of active duty, including combat, then a career in sales, where he convinced CEOs and board chairmen to buy his products and follow his advice for solving problems. He was very successful. Then came March 17, 2020, 2 days into the first lockdown for COVID. Fever of 104 degrees, shaking chills despite 7 blankets. He had pneumonia in both lungs, and yes, COVID. He was in a medically induced coma for 11 days. During 34 days in hospital, his weight dropped from 230 to 177 pounds. He was so weak, he had to learn how to walk and talk and swallow again. The mental toughness as a former Marine helped him through the long and arduous rehab. He has abundant praise for Overlook Hospital and Atlantic Rehabilitation. On the day he woke up, he remembers a nurse with blonde hair, her blue eyes peeking over her mask. She asked, "Do you know who you are or where you are?" She was so happy to see him awake and shared, "You are the reason why I get out of bed every day. You were really sick and we weren't sure you'd survive. You are our miracle patient." They both cried and sent a selfie to his wife since visitors weren't allowed in the hospital at that time. While in coma, he had an encounter with Jesus and confessed his sins. Jesus said, "I'm not ready for you yet." And at that moment, Walter woke up and met an angel, his nurse. Walter realized he was gifted with a second life and decided to pay his good fortune forward to thank God for the blessings of the nurses and doctors who helped him. Surviving that grave illness, he remembered the words, "To whom much is given, much is expected." Walter says, people coming to the hospital have cancer or trauma, and if I can bring a smile before their visit or treatment, it might be the only smile they get that day. I put my best foot forward and love helping the doctors, nurses, and patients who walk through the door. Even more remarkable, Walter and his identical twin, William, were adopted at age 6 months. Walter left his adoptive family at age 15 because of an unstable environment. He worked long hours as a cook, toughing it through high school and then some college. At age 17, he and his twin joined Marine boot camp on the same day and both served for over 20 years. Just before COVID, he sent a sample to 23andMe. After recovery, he checked a backlog of emails and found a message saying that he had a sister and his birth mother was still alive. Within an hour, he sent a picture to his 82-year-old mother who could still tell the twins apart. 23andMe asked if they could share his remarkable story for marketing. After months of FaceTime visits, Walter and William were reunited with their mother, new sister, and 2 brothers at a resort and appeared on Good Morning America for a virtual interview. Forever grateful for his recovery and new family, Walter saw an opening for a patient liaison at the hospital. He could have retired with his nice nest egg, but he felt the call to share his joy. He relates, "I am meant to do this job. It's fulfilling and improves quality of life for the people I meet and for me. And when I meet angry people, I welcome the challenge to change their hearts." The French word toucher is the verb meaning to touch. Walter Touchette certainly bears the perfect name as he has touched the hearts of hundreds of people, helping to relieve their anxiety and face their own hardships, knowing that they're loved. And to that we say, Touché. We thank you for your service in the Marines and salute you, Walter Touchette. You're a real champion.